Input on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint line by calling 875-1490. The opinions expressed by our callers and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management and staff of AM 1490 WHPV. And now, here's today's Viewpoint.
And good morning and welcome into the Monday morning Viewpoint. For this Monday morning, November the 24th, 2025, I'm your host, Randy Williams. You feel this morning, I certainly had a good weekend and that you've got a good week planned. And of course, this is Thanksgiving week. There are going to be a lot of people traveling. And so if you're one of those people, whether you're driving or if you're flying or some other mode of transportation, please be careful. And I guess I've learned how to do one important thing when I get ready to get on the move and do anything these days. And that is the first thing I pack is my patience. Because it's so easy to get frustrated, with bad service, especially. And I don't know what has happened to folks. People are not what they used to be, doesn't seem. And so it's getting crazy, just the news stories now, speak for themselves. The number of teenagers that are being murdered, it's just unprecedented. And I guess I'm thinking about Wilcox County and Pine Hill. When you start having the kinds of situations of violence in a town the size of Pine Hill, in a county like Wilcox County, there was a time when our rural communities were the safest and really the most conservative, but that's changing. All of that is changing, and I don't know the exact reason why, but I would have to imagine that, the world is much smaller than what it used to be. I can remember when, back in the day, it would take months before, just as an example, a hit record would be played in one part of the country to the other. But now, because of the internet, and even before the internet, when BET started and VH1, and, the video programs, they could take a song and, the same thing was played all over the nation at once. And so, and what that does from a cultural standpoint, in my opinion, is it puts everybody on the same page at the same time. So where at one time there was a lag from the East Coast to the West Coast, that no longer exists. And people are basically doing the same things. Then you've got a lot of travel between the two. And, where before, in the 40s, after World War II, there was a big migration from the South to the northern cities. But now, after the 80s and 90s, and coming into the 2000s, to the 21st century, a lot of that has reversed. And even, I guess you could go back to the 80s, 70s, 80s. You have a lot of families who started returning to the South from the North. And with them came all of the negative baggage that they brought with them. So now you've got these cultures that have been immersed with each other and no real rules. Everything and anything goes. It reminds me of the late Dr. Peter Hunt. I'm sure there's some who are listening now who remember him. He was a professor at Concordia College at the Alabama Lutheran. In fact, that became Concordia, and the library was named after Dr. Hunt, but he was one of my instructors. I was fortunate enough to have him as a an instructor, and he used to say, everybody wants to have a good time. He was from Wilcox County, by the way, and I think about Dr. Jenkins and Dr. Wright. Dr. Jenkins and Dr. Wright, they were really visionaries, and they were really dedicated to educating a lot of rural students who would not have ordinarily had the opportunity. I remember Dr. Jenkins was a real stickler when it came to proper English and the proper punctuation, and he taught that and insisted on it. And in fact, I was the editor for the newspaper at Alabama Lutheran when I was there, under Dr. Jenkins's tutelage. And he was really, 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 really strict when it came to the proper use of the English language. And he and Dr. Wright did tremendous work with being able to reach a lot of the Black students in those rural counties that ordinarily would not have had an opportunity to receive an education. Then, when Dr. Jenkins took over, when he inherited Dr. Wright's position, he took it to the next level, and the doors were open for a lot of African students and students from the Caribbean. And there were tons of young people that went through Lutheran and Concordia College. Now, I remember when when Dr. Jenkins said that they said he was crazy. He said I see a day when we will have a football team and a band. And several years later, Concordia College had a football team and a band. In fact, the first year or two of their football team, one of the football players was recruited by the NFL. Some of the talent scouts had come, and I've forgotten which player it was now, but it's been a while. But I'm just saying, And so I don't know how I got there, but oh yeah, just thinking about where we are today versus where we were, and many of us, I think, have lost our way, is the way it seems. I'm just really disheartened by hearing about two teenagers being found dead in Pine Hill who were from Thomasville. That just doesn't make sense. But that's where we are. Same thing in Montgomery. You got a lot of teenagers who have been murdered and who are killing each other. And I ran up on another interesting piece by a young lady that's talking about the state of education and literacy in the African American community, and I think she's zeroing in on Chicago and explaining why. I'm gonna let her speak. I'm gonna let it speak for itself. But first, before we do any of that, let's take this break, and I'm gonna get things set up. 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call. If you have comments or questions, you can also join us live on our YouTube channel with a live feed. And if you need to know where and how to get to the YouTube feed, go to selmapostherald.com, and it is on the homepage, about 3 stories down on the homepage. I'll be right back right after this.
How's your circulation? Do you suffer from fatigue, leg cramps, weakness, or pain in your legs from walking? Do you often have to stop and rest before you can continue? If so, you could be suffering from PAD, peripheral artery disease, blockages in your circulatory system. It may be time for you or your doctor to get in touch with Alabama Vascular Specialists. AVS is growing and serving our area with the most advanced vascular surgery and treatment available today. Dr. Ralph Red, Dr. Irwin White-Giddens, and Dr. Richard Tan are changing lives for the better when it comes to the vascular health of their patients. Other factors include high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, and high cholesterol, all big contributors to poor circulation and vascular problems. Not to mention family history. AVS can help put you on the road to recovery. Offices in Montgomery and Selma. Call 334-8011.
1952 and online at alabamavascularspecialist.com.
Is your business protected against cyber attacks, viruses, malware, or ransomware? How much would it cost for your business to be shut down for a couple of days if one of these attacks were to happen and you lost all of your customer and billing data? One of the worst cyber attacks right now is ransomware, which literally holds all of your files for a large ransom. And these attackers are wanting big money to unlock your files, from $5,000 to $10,000 and much more. These ransoms also have to be paid by Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency, a very difficult task in and of itself. If you're not prepared, you could be looking at several days of lost time and wages, along with the frustration for yourself, your employees, and your customers. With the right plan in place, the risk of your business experiencing such an attack can be greatly minimized by protecting your network, computers, and servers, along with a comprehensive backup plan. Computer and Data Network Services has the tools and the experience to custom tailor a solution that best fits your needs. Call us today for an appointment to discuss what we can do for you. Call us at 334-874-8324. That's 334-874-8324.
Good morning, I'm Jazz, and what's WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. A new name just entered 26th Alabama governor's race. Sources say former Alabama Senator Doug Jones says he is running for the state's top office. Sources close to Jones confirmed Sunday he will be filing the, quote, necessary paperwork to run for the governor's seat. Authorities are investigating a double homicide in Wilcox County. On Saturday, the bodies of two teens were found near Ralph Irvin Road in Pine Hill. They were reported missing last Monday and were last seen near Thomasville. It's believed that they both were shot. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency confirmed a 27-year-old man, Courtney Anderson, was arrested. He's being charged with capital murder. In Marion, people are waking up without water this morning, including those in nursing homes with no end in sight. Officials there say the water system has two main issues. If you have water, they're asking that you conserve it right now. I'm Jasmine Williams with your morning headlines.
Year 1490 WHBB Monday weather forecast. Sunny and nice today. Better enjoy it. A high today in the upper 70s. Some clouds make their way in tonight. And overnight late, a 40% chance of showers after midnight. Tomorrow could be very wet. It's also a busy travel day. Cloudy skies, 80% chance of rain and a possible thunderstorm, a high in the upper 70s, a 90% chance, more of the same tomorrow night, dropping down to 55. Wednesday, the sunshine returns. It'll be breezy and cooler with a high of 65. Northwest wind with gusts at times up to 20 miles an hour. Clear and cold Wednesday night, down to the mid-30s. And for Thursday, Thanksgiving, it'll be sunny but chilly with a high of 55. That is a look at weather. AM 1490, WH.
1490 WHBB. Good morning on this Monday morning as we are getting ready to head into our Thanksgiving holiday. If you're driving, make sure you have all of your necessary paperwork. And I know that a lot of time I say some obvious things like make sure you have your license in your insurance papers on you, and then double check to make sure that your car is ready, that all your lights are working and your headlight, anything that could take away from a safe journey and also open you up to being pulled over and ticketed. And that can certainly make a good day go bad. So, prevention, an ounce, what do they call it? The saying is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So, and then once you get on the road, of course, I don't have to tell you, but obey the traffic laws, the speed limit. Going through some of these small towns, you're not at home, and you might be able to get away with. We might be able to get away with doing 40 or 45 and a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. You can't do that everywhere. And if you have a tag that's from out of town, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't complicate things even further in your target. So, in my opinion, the best thing to do is take your time and obey traffic laws, and that way you don't have to worry about it. If you're doing the speed limit, don't worry about it. If you got if your car is equipped with cruise control, use it. These are simple things, right? And so make sure you do that. And if you're going to be flying, no sense in flying and not knowing and not realizing or remembering that you need to arrive early, an hour and a half before your flight is scheduled to take off, so that you can go through all of the security procedures that we go through now. So, and this is going to be another one of those busy travel years. Thanksgiving, it seems to be holding up as the busiest travel holiday of the year consistently. And so Christmas is pretty busy too, but all I can do is I pray for folks that have to travel, and hopefully you don't have any major delays or get stuck in any airports or any major weather systems that would cause a problem, right? Now, let's see here. I am going to share with us a young African-American woman is having a conversation. She says, this is why Black kids are failing. She says, look whose schools are rewarding. Let's listen. I want to see what she has to say about this thing. I was able to listen to a few minutes of it, but I'm going to play. I'm going to try and play most of it. It's almost 15 minutes. I may not be able to get to all of it, but let's see what she's going to do. You can join us and see the video also on our YouTube channel with the live stream as well.
Even describing it as a failing grade seems generous when last year only 1 out of every 4 Chicago public school students could read at grade level, and only 17% were proficient in math.
It's completely redundant. I could have told you that this would happen. And quite frankly, it is the cost of defending degenerate behavior. And all right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Carmen JC, and today we're going to get into some more interesting things regarding the Black community and why their behavior is the way it is, and why the adults in their lives allow this behavior. Because recently I came across a video, and it was of Mellow Bucks. And if you guys don't know who Mellow Bucks is, she is a rapper in Chicago, and I'm actually gonna explain it to you from a previous video of mine so you guys can understand who she is. And you know what, we'll just look at video of who Mellow Bucks is, and then we'll keep going, because you'll begin to see where this dysfunction is coming from. And it's coming from the adults, these teacher unions that are going around saying that they need more funding, but they're actually using the funding for lavish trips, and the kids can't read. Yeah, that is the problem in Chicago. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. A lot of people don't want to talk about the illiterate rate, the literacy rate, should I say. The rate of literacy, and it's not good. These kids can't read, and they're doing all of these things that is counterproductive to the Black community. But these are the pro-Black people. These are the people that say they love Black people. But I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at this first clip, and this is Mellow Bucks. I just want to give you guys a quick synopsis of who she is. So let's go ahead and take a listen. There was a mass shooting in Chicago. 18 people were shot, and 4 of them were killed. And I think it's completely ridiculous that people are acting so shocked, so amazed, so outraged and confused. Like, how could this have happened? My thing is, you cannot promote death, dysfunction, and drill music and then act all surprised when somebody spins the block at your party. It is completely redundant. I could have told you that this would happen. And quite frankly, it is the cost of defending degenerate behavior. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the rapper Mellow Bucks. She had a album release party in Chicago, and she built her whole image on dysfunction, violence, this gangster girl aesthetic. And people are so stunned that real life consequences have shown up. 4 people were killed at her album release party. And this is not like some type of trap house or something. This is like downtown north side of Chicago, River North. And this is a nice area where people pay lots of money to live in this area. And you have this hood album release party that gets shot up. Could have been totally prevented, but people choose to not be accountable. This is what we're about to talk about, a whole bunch of unaccountability. They're going to tell you like, oh, this is so random. My God, why me? Why is this happening to me? And we understand why this is happening. It is because of the music that you put out and the dysfunction that you display. But let me ask you something. If you glorify war, invite chaos, and surround yourself with guns and ego, what do you think is going to happen? A celebration? Well, then again, this is Black culture. So yeah, you get celebrated for that until it comes back and shoots you. I mean, literally shoots you in the butt. Because this is Chicago where everyone loves. Okay, so you get the gist. So she's a rapper. She had a album release party back in July of 2025, and it got shot up. It was a mass shooting. 4 people were killed. I believe like 18 people were shot. And the Chicago Public Schools was like, yeah, let's invite her to come perform for our children. You see the problem here? The schools are not doing the right things. The schools are not being accountable, and the schools are not even teaching these kids. I mean, just look at this. Look at this video of her at one of the schools here in Chicago. I'm not going to lie. It looks like a bunch of animals. And the fact that these schools would even invite someone who she just was arrested not too long ago. She got off with like assault charge or something where she was on house arrest for a bit, and she had attacked someone, and the girl spoke out about this. If you guys want to see the complete details of that, you can go watch that full episode. I think it was, I forget the name of it. I wish I had the name for you guys. I should have probably got that ready, but you guys can go look at that episode, and it's from 4 months ago. I do know that it's from 4 months ago. And this is the problem that we're having. We have these teachers going around yelling about Trump, yelling about a whole bunch of irrelevant things, but they can't do their jobs. And, you know, it just makes me think like when they integrated schools, that was the worst thing that happened to the Black community, because prior to that, we were teaching our kids, then our kids could read. They were reading at a proficient level. But as soon as they integrated the Black schools into the white schools, what happened was a lot of teachers were fired. Over 30,000 Black teachers who weren't qualified were fired. Okay. And people don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about any of the history. They just want to talk about it, how it's fed to us, and not what actual history is. It is pathetic. These kids can't read, and yet they're rewarded with rappers that talk about killing each other. How did this even like happen? How did this get through the chain of command to where they have a rapper this dysfunctional coming to schools telling these kids that this is what they should aspire to be? The adults are the problem. I'm telling you right now, it is the adults, it is the teachers, and they will not hold any accountability. They're going to blame everybody else. They're going to say they need more funding, but their children can't read. Do you understand this? Do you understand how dysfunctional this is? And I want you guys to go ahead and take a listen to this report about the literacy rates in Chicago. Just go ahead and take a listen, because I was completely stunned when I saw this, even though I kind of knew already, but it's just amazing. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Yeah, Dana, good morning to you. Sadly, even describing it as a failing grade seems generous when last year only 1 out of every 4 Chicago public school students could read at grade level, and only 17% were proficient in math. The Chicago Teachers Union argues it's a funding problem and that more money would lead to better results. But since 2019, CPS's budget has grown by more than 57% to more than $9 billion, and there has been almost no significant change in those test scores. And a lot of families here are stuck without options to get their kids out of a failing school.
Students at an 8th grade proficiency, 21% of the students in Chicago can read at a 8th grade proficiency level, do math at that level. This is the plan. This is how it works. This is what happens in J.B. Pritzker's Progressive Illinois.
Now, Mayor Brandon Johnson and the Teachers Union want to spend billions more to invest in schools that arguably should be closed. One glaring example is Douglas Academy High School, which could hold more than 900 students, but last year had an enrollment of just 34, meaning there was 1 teacher for every 5 students compared to the rest of the district that averages 1 teacher for every 19 students. And when it comes to funding, Douglas spent more than 3 times the district average with $68,000 per student. Despite all of that, last year, Douglas failed to produce a single student who could do either math or English at grade level. In fact, according to the Illinois Policy Institute, the last time Douglas had a single student proficient in math or reading was 7 years ago. Dana?
Garrett. All right, so the kids can't read. The kids are illiterate. And for some reason, everybody else is the problem, not the adults in the situation. And it is pathetic. I am so tired of everybody, especially in the Black community, because this is a predominantly Black issue. I mean, it's a lot of Americans are not reading at grade level, but this is a predominantly Black issue. And I am so tired of everybody pointing the finger at everyone else, but they won't point the finger at themselves. The teachers just got busted for spending millions on lavish vacations to Egypt, Las Vegas. They were going all over the country, even internationally traveling, and it's everybody else's fault. We need to do better for these children. At this point, it's like, can you even blame the children? They're being programmed. These schools are indoctrination camps, and they're indoctrinating them to be very liberal and to be very dysfunctional. I cannot make this up. It is so sad. And just like, why would Mello Bucks be at these schools? Why would they invite her? Whose idea was this? And it's like they're being rewarded for doing nothing because they can't read. It's dysfunctional. And the Black community don't want to look at these issues. You don't see Al Sharpton talking about this. You don't see Brandon Johnson talking about it. They're saying that everything is great. Or if it's not great, it's like, okay, well, we should throw money at the problem. No, everything is not great. Throwing money at the problem will not work. Okay, it doesn't work. Brandon Johnson, he just needs to step down. He is not a good mayor. He doesn't care about the community. He cares about illegal immigrants. A lot of these people in Chicago, they are vouching and pushing for the rights of illegal immigrants, but they don't care about Chicagoans. And Black people are affected by this most. And it's like the blind leading the blind. It is completely dysfunctional. And, you know, quite frankly, I am from Chicago. I was born and raised here. I actually lived in LA for 10 years as well. And it's just like, you don't get to blame everybody else for your dysfunction, right? And even with the property taxes are through the roof. They doubled. And why? Why should I pay my property tax to put into these schools if the schools can't produce students that can read? Like, why should I pay my property tax if the school cannot produce students that can read? And they'll go around complaining and complaining and complaining, but they will not do anything about it. This is one of the things that is like Black people are really good at. They're good at complaining and doing nothing. And like I said yesterday, they're so reactive instead of proactive. And they want to make sure everything is okay. Black people are trying to advocate for trans and LGBTQ and illegal immigrants, but your community is in shambles. Can you make that make sense? You're advocating for everyone else and your community is in shambles. I really just don't even think a lot of Black people know their history. I don't even think they know who's doing the thing to them. because they continue to vote in a manner that is alarming. I am so ashamed of all of this. And I'm not ashamed to be Black, but I'm ashamed of what Black culture have become. We used to dress good, you know, we used to be really, really good American citizens, and not good and like you're a good boy, but we used to have things that we can provide for our community. But that hasn't been the same since the 1960s. It is so unfortunate. A lot of these women are baby mamas. The men are just not even in control of community. And what do you do? Like, what can I do to help people to see that we have to help ourselves, that we have to do better for ourselves? This is so sad for me to even have to report on, because I really want better for the Black community. I really think the Black community can be better, but the Black community is not trying. The community pointing the finger at everyone else. And it is sick, actually. It is a sickness what's going on with the Black community. The mental health crises that we have in this country is very prevalent in the Black community. You see so many Black people doing all type of crimes, even the crime that you just seen with the kids beating up on the mother and her two children. That is demonic. And I know that this will continue, and if not continue, it will get worse if we do nothing about it. I want to know what you guys think about this video. Make sure you guys go ahead and drop a comment. I am Carmen JC. If you're new here, make sure you hit the like or the subscribe button. Or if you want to support the channel, hit the super thanks or the buy me a coffee link below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.
And yep. And see, some would say, oh, she's preaching self-hate, because she has pointed out that only 1 in 8 poor students in Chicago can read, but they can dance, they can rap, they can party, they can shoot, they can kill. There is something wrong with that picture. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Thurgood Marshall, if it was possible, are turning over in their graves. Dr. King spent he moved to Chicago. He had an apartment, in Chicago, because he wanted to be able to feel their pain, I guess, really is what it boils down to. I guess people say, why are you so interested in Chicago? You know, I have relatives and friends. I remember when I was a teenager, I had a very close friend. He would do the same. Their family was coming, sending him here for the summers. We were really close, from Chicago, had a lot in common, and understood that even then, it was dangerous then for teenagers in Chicago. The seeds were being planted then. And now here we are, you know, and same thing is true in Detroit. You know, Detroit is another one, you know, a lot of violence amongst young people, a lot of young men dead. And now it's happening here. Pine Hill, 2 dead teenagers. What is that? Pine Hill, Thomasville, Selma, Montgomery. Come on, folks. So, I mean, you know, I think we have to take a look at it and be aware of the fact that it's happening now. Fortunately, Governor Ivey mandated the 3rd grade level. I have forgotten the name of the law, where it's required that students be on grade level, be able by the 3rd grade, or be put back. You know, and so you know, if you can't read and write, how in the world do we think people are going to be able to compete in this digital economy? Artificial intelligence is trying to take over. You know, they're pushing it hard. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the forces that be are pushing these narratives, and they're going to try and push artificial intelligence down our throats. And they're already have research that says that that their artificial intelligence already is creating a displacement of jobs. So if that's already happening, what do you think? What does the future hold? But the good news is that we can be proactive, and we can start to curb this thing. We don't have to fall into this trap that has been set for a lot of our young people. And this is all young people. You know, there was a time when it was just, in the 70s and part of the 80s, it was just Black teenagers that were in rap. But that has changed. Now that rap culture and some of the gangster rap is international, it's worldwide. It's Black, it's white, it's Asian, you know. And now I am also an artist, so I can appreciate artistry. But there are people out there that say, for instance, well, you know, let the teenagers express themselves when they put their pants down to their knees and showing their butts. That's all right. That's artistic expression. Well, you know, when I go out, even in Selma, I can't even go into a hardly a parking lot with turning around looking. I got to look at some man's butt with his pants dropped all the way down to almost to his knees. I don't want to see his butt. I'm sorry, I have to put it out there like that because nobody else is saying it. As the sister just said in the video, where's Al Sharpton and all these other so-called leaders when it comes to being able to put that moral compass in place and advocate literacy and competence, not what's popular and not what's going to lead to more money in my pocket. See, there's too many folks that are serving self and they call themselves leaders. I say they're hypocrites and no good. Sorry. Let's take this break. I'll be back with more after these messages.
Feeling bad? Don't have a doctor? Don't know what to do or where to go? Whether you need urgent care, primary care, or even family care, Primary Health Solutions is there for you at 913 Medical Center Parkway, right down from the Vaughan Regional Hospital. You don't need an appointment, just walk in or call 334-418-6700. Dr. Tyler Goins and nurse practitioners Thad Wood and Megan Crane will get you in, evaluate your symptoms, and prescribe the right treatment to get you well soon. Primary Health Solutions, Medical Center Parkway, Selma.
Banking the way it should be at First Cahaba Bank means you never have to worry about the season or the weather with online banking. It's always there and always on, 24/7, 365, even on holidays.
I'm Richard Walters, president of First Cahaba Bank, here to let you know that all of our online banking resources have been invaluable to our First Cahaba customers. Although our lobbies are open, personal and business customers have discovered how convenient and easy it has become to manage financial resources without having to come inside the bank. And all of our online services, including mobile banking app, are free. Visit firstcahaba.com to get all of the information, or feel free to call any of our locations in Selma, Troy, or Gulf Shores for any questions or information. Banking the way it should be at First Cahaba Bank means we are constantly focused on the very latest technology for customer convenience and overall satisfaction. We would love for you to join our growing community bank family. First Cahaba Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams, WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. A new name just entered the 2026 Alabama governor's race. Sources say former Alabama Senator Doug Jones says he is running for the state's top office. Sources close to Jones confirmed Sunday he will be filing the, quote, necessary paperwork to run for the governor's seat. Authorities are investigating a double homicide in Wilcox County. On Saturday, the bodies of two teens were found near Ralph Irvin Road in Pine Hill. They were reported missing last Monday and were last seen near Thomasville. It's believed that they both were shot. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency confirmed a 27-year-old man, Courtney Anderson, was arrested. He's being charged with capital murder. Syrian people are waking up without water this morning, including those nursing homes with no end in sight. Officials say the water system has two main issues. If you have water, they're asking that you conserve it right now. I'm Jasmine Williams with your morning headlines.
1490 WHBB. I'm going to play one more clip. I haven't listened to all of this either, but this is a part of the discussion obviously, that's taking place after the mother, the black woman, and her child and children uh, were beaten by students at a local school. The students have been bullying her son, and she started walking him home. So they attacked her too. Out of control. Out of control. Who really cares? There was a song, Marvin Gaye, on his album, What's Going On. And the title of it is Who Really Cares? You know, but these things are going to come out. They're going to start coming out. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked when all of this starts coming out and the truth start being told, and the cloak gets pulled off of all these phonies, and they will no longer be able to hide, and then the narrative is going to shift. But let's see what this is a CBS report coming out of Chicago. I want to see. Let's see what they have to say.
Y'all not gonna believe this one. Apparently, a family was attacked by a mob of dirty ass kids after school. Check this out. And then the mother of one of them children had the nerve to be cursing people out all over social media, defending her bad children the entire time. And moms and dads from all over the United States are firing back at these children's parents. Check this out, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already.
My son is, he's very devastated. He'll wake up out of in the middle of his sleep, screaming. He'll scream, "Mommy, are you there?"
Hatter says her 9-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter are traumatized after watching their mom get attacked by a group of kids. In this video, we've blurred the faces of those involved because they're all minors. We've stopped it after she was dragged to the ground because of how brutal it is. Her son was beaten, and she says one of the kids pulled her daughter's hair. Her daughter stood off to the side crying, watching her brother and mother get attacked.
Before they go and talk to the mom and the dad, because they're about to do that, I want you to see something. This boy, her son, is 9 years old. He realizes that not only are they attacking my mom, but my mom is pregnant. I need to protect them. Lord, may that young man be blessed for the rest of his life. He is protecting his mom. No matter what's happening, he's making sure that I will take these blows. Leave my mom alone. He's 9 years old. This is unfortunate that he had to do this at such a young age.
I felt helpless because I was down on the ground, and he was down on the ground, and he's looking at me screaming like, "Mommy, please help me, help me." I couldn't get up myself. I couldn't do nothing.
She's sick. She has sickle cell. So I guess they seen a little weakness on her because she's, kind of walking a little slow. And they have no right to put their hands on an adult.
But I just saw her live right here. That's her partner, Devon Lee, who was at work when the attack happened. Hatter went on to tell me that her son has been bullied for the past 2 years at Orville T. Bright Elementary School because of the way she walks and talks. All of the results of her sickle cell disease. Hatter tried to talk to the school about the bullying, but she says they didn't do anything about it. Hatter says she's pressing charges against the parents of the kids who attacked her. As for her children, they'll be transferred to a different school, and she's looking to get therapy for them.
To God be the glory that they are being transferred from that ratchet hood ghetto school that they attend. Although I have to say, and I hope y'all don't judge me for this, man, but I was the same way when I was younger. I was a little wild one. I was wild. Not enough to punch a lady, though. That was not the type of kid I was at all. Now, men, yeah, but you are a product of your environment, but you still should be held accountable, period. And as you can see, this young lady right here, this is one of the moms, and one of her daughters were the main people who was dragging and beating that lady. All right. And I just wanted to show this because all over the internet. She was going back and forth with people. We're going to read that in a moment. But before we do, I want to show you some of the things that some parents from around the world have been saying. Check this out.
Y'all ready to admit that the reason why them kids jumped that pregnant lady was because y'all at home watching baddies and Zeus network shows with y'all kids, and y'all have normalized all of this fucking fighting and shit? Y'all have normalized all of this violence. That's why them kids was doing it. Probably violent. I think the parents need to be liable in a situation, because what is going on at home? Children jumping a pregnant woman and her children on the street with no.
The language was, he didn't beep it out, so I'm going to have to start going through some of these in advance and beeping them. It looks like, but at the end of the day, it boils down to what? Accountability. And as the young lady said earlier, you have far too many people who really don't want to be held accountable. Oh, and by the way, isn't Chicago, how many black leaders, national black leaders are there in Chicago? Oh, well, let's see. Well, we've got Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we've got the Obamas, and well, Reverend Jackson, unfortunately, is sick now, but he's been there long. That's where he based that since the 60s with Operation Breadbasket and Rainbow. You know, I haven't heard Al Sharpton say anything about this either. You know, so that's what I mean. I'm like the young lady. I'm tired of hearing all this. Now, there's somebody listening right now who in this audience that says, "Oh, we don't need to be held accountable. We don't need to have to." You don't be telling us to make sure our children can read and write. Let them turn into criminals. Help them supply this school to prison pipeline is what they're saying. Let's not be proactive. Let them have their way. Freedom. Freedom. Yeah, right. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the problem. With freedom comes responsibility. But that's a whole nother discussion. But I wanted to share some of that with you because like I said, look, you got two teenagers in Pine Hill, Alabama, right down the road, not even 30 miles, found dead. Huh? Anyway, that's unacceptable. But it is what it is. Let's take this last break, and I'll be back with more after these messages.
We're with Barry Parker and our friends at Reliable Chevrolet and GMC. 80 years, Barry.
That's right, George. We've been right here at the same location at 14th Lawrence Street. Also the same family, the Portage family. Bill is here and has his two sons, John and Will. And soon they'll be taking over, so there'll be a third generation that has had the ownership of Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
Now let's talk about what's going on with Chevrolet and GMC. We're coming up on the end of the year. Big time discounts on these 25 that you got left.
That's right, George. We're moving them out right and left. If you're in the market for a 2025 model, let me encourage you to come down, get them while they're still available, because the 26s are here and we've got more coming. So we got to make room. Whatever your transportation needs are, we can take care of them right here. And let us get you fixed up so you can be riding today.
Not forget about the pre-owned side and service.
That's right. We've got all kind of makes and models on the pre-owned inventory, from cars to trucks to SUV. And when it comes to getting your vehicle serviced, we have the top service department in Central Alabama right here at Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
And is that fifth oil change still free?
Always free. Not just your first fifth, every fifth oil change. Regardless of how many vehicles you have in the family, each one stands on its own.
To get in touch with Reliable Chevrolet and GMC, what do we do?
872-2337, or check us out on our website at reliablegmc.com, or best,
just come visit us right here at 14th Lawrence Street in downtown Selma.
Reliable, where they truly have it all.
Bless you. Bless you.
Bless you.
There are only 4 seasons, and flu season does not have to be one of them. At the Selma Doctors Clinic, we are here to help keep you safe during this flu season. We're offering flu shots daily from 8 to 9 each morning and 1 to 2 each afternoon. Call us today at 874-9064 to make an appointment for that annual flu shot. Selma Doctors Clinic is located at 509 Parkman Avenue in the beautiful historical district in Selma. We have Dr. Park Chittum Sr., Dr. Park Chittum II, Dr. Daniel Clower, and our nurse practitioner, Mary Elizabeth Schweitzer. Call us today at 874-9064 to schedule an appointment for your flu shot, and remember that walk-ins are always welcome. We are the Selma Doctors Clinic, where we are always here for you.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. A new name just entered the 2026 Alabama governor's race. Sources say former Alabama Senator Doug Jones says he is running for the state's top office. Sources close to Jones confirmed Sunday he will be filing the, quote, necessary paperwork to run for the governor's seat. Authorities are investigating a double homicide in Wilcox County. On Saturday, the bodies of 2 teens were found near Ralph Irvin Road in Pine Hill. They were reported missing last Monday and were last seen near Thomasville. It's believed that they both were shot. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency confirmed a 27-year-old man, Courtney Anderson, was arrested. He's being charged with capital murder. In Marion, people are waking up without water this morning, including those in nursing homes with no end in sight. Officials there say the water system has 2 main issues. If you have water, they're asking that you conserve it right now. I'm Jasmine Williams with your
1490 WHBB. So, folks, I know that we are in the Black Belt is predominantly Democratic. 80% maybe, close to 80% Democrats. Well, if I was a Democrat, or if I was, even when the last several years of being a Democrat, I was not an activist, because of, again, just disappointed with the system and disappointed with the way politics really works. And then I was Republican for a while, and then I decided just to come out the game and be nonpartisan. Although many of the Republican principles and policies I tend to agree with closer than I do what's coming out of the Democratic Party nationally. But if I was a younger man, if I was involved, and if I had political aspirations and have my same conservative, well, I'm conservative on some issues, but I see some moral viewpoint, then I would be involved in the fight. They talk about the soul of America. When Dr. King talked about it being a fight for the soul of America, he was talking about morals, not trying to introduce children to question their sexuality and gender. It sounds like they're more literate when it comes to sex than they are when it comes to reading and writing. We're more interested in getting them to learn about sex and what to do with their bodies and with who than we are about teaching them how to read and write and count. I've got about a less than a minute, caller. Go ahead. You're breaking up. We have to call back. We don't have a good connection. But thank you for listening, and we can pick back up on this tomorrow. But if you glorify violence and we reward disruptive and unacceptable behavior, and say, oh, how cute it is, and, put it on a pedestal, then I'm like the young lady earlier. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we have a culture of violence when we're helping promote it and reward it. So we need to really take a hard look at this thing and really question these policies. I keep using and stressing the word policy. Anyway, you have yourself a safe and enjoyable day. I'll see you tomorrow morning. The good Lord willing. Stay tuned for Fox News. It's 9 o'clock.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And Ukraine's President Volodymyr